Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another Halloween horror movie review. This time, bring your Geiger counter, kids. We're going to Chernobyl for the Chernobyl Diaries. Today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. Okay, so the Chernobyl Diaries. Ooh. So basically what we have here is a group of young men and women who decide to go on a tour of Europe, and one of them finds out about this extreme tours thing, and they're in the Ukraine, and they get a tour, basically a guided tour by this crazy ex-Marine, this ex-soldier guy, who takes them on a tour of Pripyat, which is an abandoned town just a few miles away from Chernobyl, where of course there was a horrible accident, like almost a nuclear meltdown actually, a number of years back, like 20 plus years, 25 years ago. And yeah, so basically he takes them on a tour of the abandoned town that used to house, a lot of the workers and families that worked at Chernobyl. And, well, it's supposed to be abandoned, but of course there's something there. And horror ensues. Now, basically what you have here is it's a movie that I thought it was actually going to be more of a found footage thing, and it kind of has that vibe in certain aspects. The whole thing is filmed handheld, so you do kind of have that, you are there feel to it, which definitely works in its favor. But then you also do have little clips and snippets of, things that the main characters have filmed of each other, with their camera phones and stuff like that. So it's a good little mix of stuff. The real star of the movie, though, is the location. I mean, because they actually filmed it in this big abandoned town, and it looks fantastic. I mean, just some of the locations are really, really creepy, and just these old blown-out buildings and stuff, and, you could just have it be a walking tour of that, and that would be plenty creepy. But no, let's add, bloodthirsty creatures in there too to chase them around, so just make it even more tense. I mean, places like that, I've always been fascinated by things like abandoned towns and abandoned villages and whatnot, just ghost towns and abandoned buildings and things like that. It's just, I don't know, just something about it. It feels like you walk through those places and it's almost like you can feel the resonance of the people who used to be there. You feel their presence in a way, especially when it's like it is in this movie, where it's essentially people who just picked up and left on a moment's notice and just left things more or less untouched. So it's like you're seeing a snapshot of these people's lives, but without the people there. So it's almost like they're there but not there, kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's strange. I mean, I just think, like, how many abandoned places are there out there? I mean, there's websites dedicated to that particular subject. I mean, if you poke around a bit, you can find tons and tons of articles and photos and videos and whatnot of them. And it's really fascinating. A while back, I just kind of cruised around YouTube looking at all these different abandoned locations that people had, visited and taken videos of, and really just fascinating stuff. But what a terrific location for a horror movie. And does Chernobyl Diaries do it justice? Honestly, overall, yes, I think it does. I heard kind of mixed reviews of it. Some people really liked it, some people didn't. That seems to be the case with every movie I watch lately. But yeah, it's gotten to the point where I don't even listen to reviews anymore. I just kind of judge for myself. I mean, I know what kind of stuff I like and what appeals to me and what I don't like, so I can usually pick the winners fairly easily. I mean, I've had a lot of luck with blind buys, and Chernobyl Diaries was a blind buy. Actually, a while back, you probably remember an update from like 1 or 2 years ago where I originally bought it. Yeah, it's taken me this long to actually sit down and watch it. Actually, Stoudman Skinslip and I started watching it last Halloween, but we were watching it through a streaming service, and the streaming service crapped out about a half an hour before the end of the movie, so we never saw how it ended. So we got to like all of the tension and the excitement and the, you know, the suspense, and then never got to see how the rest of it played out. So finally last night I was like, you know what, screw it, we're never going to get around to watching it together, so I'm just going to watch it by myself. So sorry guys, had to ditch you on this one. I think 2 years is long enough to wait. But yeah, I really enjoyed it overall, and the things I liked about it were the fact that it's basically a zombie movie, sort of, or I guess more of an infected movie, because they're like sort of fast-moving zombies. You got a bit of shuffling, a bit of fast-moving. But the thing that's interesting about it is it's all kept very mysterious. Like, you don't actually see a lot of things very clearly. A lot of it is kept, you just kind of see, you'll sense that there's something in the room, but you won't see it clearly. You might see a foot shuffle by or something, or you might see a silhouette. But it's not like most zombie movies where it's just right in your face and you see, you know, like, oh, cool zombie makeup. You know, in a lot of cases you don't even see the zombies' faces, or you see them kind of obscured, or you just catch like a flash, like a glimpse or something. And I think that made it actually more effective because it kept the mystery of it. You know, it kept the fear of the unknown intact. I mean, a lot of it is them creeping through these dark buildings. Something is stalking them, and they're trying to, you know, get away from it without alerting it to their presence. And, you know, there's a lot of very palpable tension in a lot of moments in this movie, and I really liked that a lot. I mean, aided in no small part to just fantastic locations, but fantastically creepy locations, but also the fact that they decided to do it with very much a less is more philosophy. Now, I mentioned, you know, I talk about movies like The Haunting and The Legend of Hell House, and they are prime examples of less is more. I mean, you don't see a lot in those, but they're very scary films. They build this atmosphere and this tension that that just you never forget. I mean, it makes it a much more I don't know, deep experience, I guess, like deep terror, because you don't know what is behind that door or what's lurking in the corridor, and you know what's following me. I can hear something, you know, stuff like that, and that's what Chernobyl Diaries tries to do, and I think actually succeeds on many levels. I mean, it starts off with just this cheesy, you know, young adults, you know, late teens, early 20s. On tour, partying it up, and just being, you know, cheesy jokes and groaner moments galore. But when the terror begins, I mean, you really feel it. Now, the only complaint I had regarding the characters was, in some respects, they acted kind of stupid. And this is, you know, something that you see in a lot of horror movies. It's very rare that you find a horror movie where the characters act intelligently. I mean, a lot of times I find myself thinking, like, well, what would I do in that situation, you know? And I think that's the good horror movies, the ones that you can easily put yourself in that character's place and think, well, what would I do? And one of the things that pissed me off about this movie, well, I didn't say pissed me off, but I just wanted to slap the shit out of the character, was there's this one guy, I mean, they're trying to find one of their friends who's lost in one of the buildings, who's been taken by something, and they can hear something, they can hear sounds, but they don't know if it's their friend or if it's something else. I mean, they've already met some of the creatures, they know what's going on, they know they're being stalked, and the guy just keeps yelling out his friend's name. It's like, shut the fuck up! You just, I mean, you don't know that's him. That could be one of the creatures that's going to eat your face off if he knows you're there, and you're basically saying, hey, I'm here, come and eat me. You know, like, come on. Like, you're in that situation, you keep deadly quiet, and you listen, and you look, and you pay attention, and you do not alert the things to your presence. Now, there is one scene where, you know, which is the complete opposite of that, where one of the characters is smart about it. It's a character who's on their own, and there's a creature in the room with her, and she's trying to trying to get away, trying to sneak out of the room and be very quiet. And that's how you do it. That's what most people would try to do. They'd be almost paralyzed with fear. You're not going to be screaming your friend's name. You're going to be keeping dead quiet and trying to get out of that situation. And, you know, for the most part, that's what the characters do. They don't always act stupid, but there are some moments that you're just like, stop doing that. You're going to give your position away. But anyway, overall, I would definitely recommend it if you want something really tense with some just fantastic locations. I mean, just this abandoned town that they got for it is just gorgeous to look at. Now, sadly, the Blu-ray, I mean, I don't know if this was filmed. I think this was just filmed on high-def video, so I mean, it looked pretty good to me. Even the dark scenes actually looked pretty good. I didn't see a lot of what they call crush in the dark. It just looked black and inky, which is terrific. But what was I going to say? Yeah, about the Blu-ray, it's really light on extras. Like, it's stupidly light on extras. You get literally about 10 minutes total of extras. You get an alternate ending, which honestly, the alternate ending was okay, but I actually prefer the theatrical ending. Yuri's Extreme Tours infomercial. It's just a mock infomercial for the guy and his extreme tours. Plus Chernobyl conspiracy viral video. And an additional scene. Yeah, so there's that's basically it. So the conspiracy viral video, I guess, was something they did to promote the video on the internet originally, and just kind of let it loose there, that there was some kind of conspiracy experiments on people and stuff like that. And anyway, essentially what you have here is they've included all the promotional material. And that's pretty much it. There's no commentary, which I was very disappointed by. There's not even, like, I would have hoped there would be some kind of behind-the-scenes video, because I was actually really curious about the making of this. Like, how did they, just some information about the location that they filmed in, and sort of what they were going for. Because it seems to me like, there is a little bit of blood in it, but if you're a gorehound, you will be disappointed, and I think that's where a lot of the negative reviews come from, because this is kind of hyped up as a radioactive zombie movie, but there's really not a lot of gore in it. I mean, there's a little bit, but characters getting injured and whatnot. But it's really light on the gore. So if you like your zombie movies full of gore and blood and guts splattering everywhere, you're probably going to be disappointed. What this does well, though, is the atmosphere and the tension. I thought it was actually very effective, and honestly, I'd like to see more movies like this that don't rely on the gore and leave a lot up to your imagination for your mind to fill in the blanks. I mean, we don't need to see everything. I don't like movies that spoon-feed things to me. I don't need to always see the monster in full sharp relief. I think it's actually scarier when you don't. When you kind of half see it, partly in shadow. You don't quite know what you're looking at. You're trying to get a better look. But as you're looking closer, it's getting closer to you. I mean, there's just so many things you can do with a more minimalist approach. And in this case, I mean, I think they did the right decision. They really let the location be the star, and just kind of build tension around the mystery and the darkness and the spookiness of the location, and just kind of work with that. And yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I will definitely watch it again. Chernobyl Diaries. Check it out if you want something a little different. That's got some really good tension, some really good scares. There are some jump scares, of course, as there are in every modern horror movie. But for the most part, this is all about the tension, and there is definitely tension to spare in here. So, there you go. That is it from me to you for now. So until next time, thanks for watching, and sayonara.